down. No money down. No money down.
Old and in the way, sisters. Laugh and learn with me, Janet.
And me, Nancy.
The Bitchin' Sisters, as we tell it like it is. The way it was back then and the mess we're in now.
We're growing old in a new world with skyrocketing costs, crazy fashions, changing norms, and I hate to remind you, with limited time left.
Yeah.
We've got some practical ideas that might work for you.
And we definitely have some opinions that you might have too.
We'll entertain you and inform you. Let's look back at how it was and ahead to what's coming.
And if you're young, maybe you can learn something from your elders. Supposedly we're wise, but we've definitely been there and done that. The cost of everything. I complain about the cost of everything whenever I spend money, and my husband says, "You just want this to be like the early 60s. Well, yes, I do.
Me too.
Yeah.
Even the 50s would not be nice, even though I wasn't around for most of them.
Well, when I was in high school, I got my first job at a laundry and dry cleaning place, 85 cents an hour. I waited on customers. I emptied clothing pockets. Disgusting, by the way. I worked on a mangle, a huge ironing machine for sheets, and it was like over 100 degrees in there. 85 cents an hour. But I didn't complain. I was happy to have a job. I had money. Mostly I would buy makeup. And that reminds me of when you smushed my lipstick into the case. Oh, well, anyway. I fell for ads telling me that I needed special razors, deodorant, shaving cream.
17 magazine.
Right, and I was 16 years old. I was trading my life for a bunch of stuff I really didn't need. Not that this changed over my long lifetime.
You probably still buy makeup. Oh, really?
Oh, really? Yeah. Okay, lipstick. Well, but now I'm at the point of trying to give away a lot of the stuff that I worked so hard for.
Sure.
And, just as an illustration of how times have changed, both of our parents were both nurses. And yet they said to us, "We will finance your education." There were 4 kids through master's degrees.
Oh, I thought it was just college.
Well, I remember them saying masters. Anyway, does that give you an idea of how much more affordable college was then?
Yeah, Dad's income paid all the expenses, and Mom's was for college.
Huh. Is that how they did it?
Yeah.
That's interesting. But also, if you were a student, even if you didn't have your parents helping, you could make enough with a summer job to pay your tuition. We're talking about it was hundreds of dollars. Now, people have to take out huge loans. And we've all heard of today's student loans. I like the 60s better.
Me too.
Also, I married at age 20 after a year in college. And my husband, Gene, and I had really no plan concerning money because we both always our families had enough. So we just didn't know. We were always...
Yeah, but our parents did not pay for anything after we got married.
No, that was it. You're his responsibility now.
Yes.
That's what my father said. And we weren't good. We were always overdrawn. We were always squabbling about money. I don't know. We had a child, and we were going to have a child. We were going to have a baby, and we saved up $250 so that I could go to the hospital and have the baby in a hospital. $250, and we were afraid that if we didn't have the money, they would see me there in labor and say, "No, you can't come in." That's what we thought. We were so stupid. $250.
Well, when you are brought up, I think, not knowing where the money's coming from, not feeling or seeing any pain, then you don't understand. about the value of money. Now, my other half, Mike, he grew up, his parents were raised in the 1930s. They went through the Depression. To this day, every day I hear how much everything costs and how much he saved by going to this store or that store or cutting out a coupon or this is how he was raised. You and I were spoiled because we didn't know what the money was for. We never really saw any pain. But it wasn't like they were rich, but they like we didn't know about money. Me, after high school, I went to college, but I lived in a teepee. We didn't have any, and I was married, and Peter, my husband, and I, we lived in this teepee for 3 months. We didn't have any expenses. And then we moved up to Maine, and we lived in his parents' cottage, so we had no expenses. And then we moved, when they came up, we moved to his aunt's chicken coop that was redone as a cottage. And then I ended up in a tent for about 3 months, and I was working as a Montessori teacher in a private school. Didn't make enough money, got food stamps, got an apartment. I mean, I tried to live within my means, had a child. We didn't really have a thing about money.
Yeah, well, we did. We squabbled all the time. Eventually, we split up, and then there I was, a single parent with 2 children by then. And luckily, there were social programs for idiots like me back then. AFDC provided some money. I went back to college. I got food stamps. I got a degree in fine art, which they told me wouldn't do me any good at earning a living, but I got jobs. My work ranged from being a professional photographer to a product designer to marketing. You take a fine art degree and turn it into something that your present culture values and will pay for. But once you have been poor and you've worked hard to get out of debt, you really do feel stingy when you're spending money. I don't know about you, but I don't buy much in the way of clothes anymore. I jokingly say all I need is underwear and socks. And I don't want to buy too many of those. I mean, you never know how long I'll be around. But you've traded your life and your comfort and your time with your family for stuff.
That's true. That's a huge statement. Say that again, Janet.
I'm not sure I can remember what I said. Let's
Oh,
see. When you
geez.
no,
You've traded.
your life for these things. So when I see a box of crackers for $7, or a pair of jeans for $100, or a car that costs more than your family home cost when you were growing up, or $300 for eyeglasses for your kid, or any medical procedure. And God help you if you need a car repair that your insurance doesn't cover. You just feel like the world has just changed so much money-wise.
Well, what do we do about it as we age? Because we all are on fixed incomes. Fortunately, being in the teaching profession, I have a pension. If I had to rely just on Social Security, I don't think I could make it very easily. But having a pension has really helped.
Well, I don't have a pension. I managed to put together a 401k. I think you found out how much money I had once, and you laughed out loud.
Really? I did? I don't remember this.
No, you wouldn't remember that, but ha ha, I'm poor. My husband never made a lot of money. When we had a business, we didn't make that much more than our employees who were doing all this handwork. We just wasn't the way we were. And by the way, many of them still like us and call us friends. But we don't have a lot of money, but we live modestly. We live in a 130-year-old log cabin
that I love to bring people to see. It's so unique.
It is a wonderful place, but it's all paid for. We drive a 2013 Vibe that we bought secondhand, but it won't stop running. I
Knock
shop
on
in
wood.
resale shops if I need something. We don't buy, we have kids and grandkids and great grandkids, and we don't buy them expensive gifts like some of their other relatives do. We've been trying to give them things that we own. Might call them family heirlooms, but things that are meaningful to us, things from our past. We try to give them those kinds of things for birthdays and Christmas.
And you also give them experiences.
Yes, we give them experiences. We take them to, we have some nature lovers among them. We take them to the International Crane Foundation in Baraboo. We take them to the Owl Center or the Eagle Center, that kind of thing. We take them to plays. That's what we do with them. And these things are not terribly costly, and I think they are memorable to the kids, I hope.
I sure hope that they remember all of these things that you have done with them.
Well, I hope so too. And for those of you who may think that we're exaggerating things,
We're not.
We're not. We have an old Grateful Dead poster from around 1970, and the seats were $3. $3. Mark went to a Jimi Hendrix concert in 1967, and the tickets, the range of price for the tickets were $3 to $6 for the best seats. Now, I can't even imagine what tickets to top concerts might be. On the other hand, nobody's working for 85 cents an hour, but I just can't get used to the prices of things. And I guess it's time that
We all end up picking and choosing as we age, picking and choosing what we want, that we think is important, that we're willing to spend money on, and the rest we just say we don't need it. Not like in the old days when we
had
wanted
to have
something.
it. Oh.
Remember when I broke? Mom said something to me,
Okay.
and she said I was playing the guitar too loud. I was in the basement steps where the acoustics are really good, and I said, "Okay," and I smashed my guitar, and she went out and got me a new one. That's how bad it was.
That's how bad it
That's
was.
how bad I was, and how bad
And
it was.
Yeah, right. We just didn't value what we had. Like you don't miss your water till the well's gone dry or something like that.
I had a girl in my class come to a 20-year reunion and say, "Do you know the only reason I came to school was to see what you were wearing and what shoes you had on?" I had about 30 pairs of shoes, and you know how we dressed.
I know, yeah. I haven't had a pair of pantyhose on for years now. And high heels, oh my God. I can't even imagine. That would be the death of me. And I don't want to die that way. I'm going to die, but so far. And I don't think I'll probably ever get used to how prices have increased. I will just say, gee, I remember when cigarettes were 25 cents a pack, and I smoked then. I remember when gas was
39 here.
I remember when it was 25 cents a gallon for gas.
Yeah.
And it's just mind-blowing that things have changed that much during my lifetime.
The good old days.
Yeah. But I guess I'm just old and in the way.
Janet and I come to you twice a month with new episodes. Some are funny, some are serious, some are just our crazy opinions. I hope you enjoyed our show.
Me too. It's been a pleasure. We are Nancy and Janet, the Bitchin' Sisters. Music by Hall and Sidnor.